If you're new here, my name is Erica. This is Spoiled Yogi. It is a blog turned YouTube channel all about yoga and mindfulness and how it can help you in your busy modern mom life. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, comment, let me know what you want to see more of on this channel because it is growing and I want it to be a really big value to you. Today we're talking about my favorite way to waste my time, basically. At the end of the day, I like to sit down, sometimes with a bowl of popcorn and a glass of wine, and binge watch YouTube. So here we go. My favorite 5, 6, I think, YouTube channels that I am obsessively watching every night with my bowl of popcorn. So first on the list is my own channel. Is that self-absorbed and egotistical? Well, maybe, but I think that you are here because you do enjoy the content that I put out. And I know a lot of you are watching this as an embed on my blog. It's a lot more popular than my YouTube channel is. I'm just growing it. So I wanted to make sure that those of you who are watching somewhere other than YouTube know I'm on YouTube now. And I am sharing videos every single week that are really geared toward the mom who wants to be more mindful and to incorporate yoga and mindfulness practices into her busy daily life. That is harder now than ever when we have kids at home, maybe spouses at home. We're minimizing our trips outside of the home. And so it's just imperative that we stay focused and stay fierce in our commitment to taking time away from our families when we need to feed our souls and to nourish ourselves, and so that we can go back to them fresh and refreshed and ready to be our best selves. Second is the Yogaland podcast. So full disclosure, I work with Andrea Ferretti and Jason Crandall, and I have worked with them since way back when we worked together at Yoga Journal. And they launched this podcast a few years ago, and it is top notch. They have amazing guests every week. They talk about everything from teaching yoga online, which is really big right now, and bringing your practice to your living room. I also love that they are parents too. So they have a little girl who's about Annabelle's age. I think she's about 7, close to 8 maybe. And they get into how parenting looks for them as a couple who is so steeped in the yoga world and how that works for them. As it's not always easy. There aren't always clear-cut answers to how to do this right, and you just won't find better content for parents who are also yogis than this podcast, which is now on YouTube too. A few months ago, I stumbled upon Momma Dr Jones, which is a YouTube channel by an OBGYN who, let me just say, she is like if your OBGYN were your best friend and you could just call her up on like a Saturday morning and you're like, hey, I have this thing that's going on down there and what do I do? She approaches her channel in that way, and it is both hilarious and refreshing and so educational. There's a lot of myths out there about what is okay when you're pregnant, what is not okay. There's a lot of myths about birth, postpartum, women's health in general, and she is brutally honest and hilarious. She reminds me a lot of Tina Fey. Can you imagine if Tina Fey were an OBGYN? Anyway, she's amazing and I love her. I also love the videos where she is watching some show that depicts birth or labor or pregnancy in some way, and she gives you the no-nonsense doctor's interpretation of what's going on and what's real and what's not. So I love it. Obviously, this is not a replacement for actually going to your doctor, but for those quick little random questions that come up, I would much rather you go to someone who is actually a practicing OBGYN and get information from her as opposed to just looking up random blogs on the internet. One of my absolute favorite YouTube channels, has been one of my favorite YouTube channels for a long time, is called The Minimal Mom. You might think that minimalism would not have very much to do with yoga and mindfulness. But the more I have learned about minimalism, the more I realize that it is very much a mindfulness practice. And what I really love about Dawn's approach to minimalism is that she is very realistic about it. She is a mom herself. She has 4 kids, and she is a full-time real estate agent and YouTuber. And she has this very sweet persona about her, this very sweet, calm energy. And she is really all about showing people that it is possible to have a more minimalist approach to things in your house and have small children. I love, love, love her videos that talk about how this works for her kids' lives. And when I say minimalism, it's important to know that she's very flexible about that terminology, and thank goodness, because it would not appeal to me at all if it were just like white walls and 100 items and you can't own anything else. It's very much just a simplified version of a normal modern life. The next YouTube channel that I really love is the Parenting Junkie. It is by a parenting coach who is all about, she calls it peaceful parenting. And again, it's a very mindfulness conscious sort of approach to parenting that is about simplicity, that is about letting children use their imaginations, keep themselves busy, which I love. She brings in a Montessori sort of a perspective to raising small children, that they really can do more for themselves than maybe we give them credit for sometimes. They need open-ended toys, and again, not that much. They can do well with a lot less, and in some ways, this channel has given me permission to, again, find a more simplistic way of living and way of parenting my children, because she seems to think that it's much better for their development. I have found some really, really helpful information there. And as someone who is really not that into the idea of parenting coaches, I really do love her because she comes from a place of like peer support. She has small children too. She works from home, running her own business and homeschooling her children all of the time. So lots of good advice for the time that we're in right now, and just general advice for raising small children. Last but certainly not least, this is your bonus YouTube channel. Most of you probably already know it. It is for children and it is called Cosmic Kids Yoga. I adore this channel. It is one of my favorite things to do, to spend time with my kids. I've tried to teach my kids yoga since before they could walk, right? And I've also taken trainings to teach kids yoga, and I've taught Mommy and Me yoga, and I can tell you, it takes a special kind of personality to do it, and it takes a whole lot of planning, props, and things to keep them engaged. And I don't know how they do it at Cosmic Kids, but the stories that they tell and integrating the movements and somehow still making it about mindfulness is just astonishing to me. I love watching my girls try to do all of the moves and how much fun that they are having, and just asking to do another and another and another. And as I mentioned in the blog post, it's just a really fun thing for me to practice along with them on their level, because so often I'm practicing with my videos or doing my own home practice, and they come in the room, and sometimes they will join along with me, and of course I love that, but it's my practice and they're just a part of it. So I really love having something that is for them and that I can be a part of their practice. So that is really lovely, and I love having someone else guide it for us. And that is it. Those are my very favorite YouTube channels for right now. They encompass women's health, yoga, parenting, and minimalism. If you enjoyed this, please let me know below. Let me know, what are your favorite YouTube channels? Give us a like, give us a subscribe, do all the things, share with your friends, and I hope to see you back again for another video next week. Namaste.